Wait, why are you checking both legs?
This is a huge...
Do you not know what leg you wanted on yet?
Here we go. Are we doing this?
We're doing it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh.
Play the music. There we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Are you singing along?
Yeah, but you can't tell because I'm wearing a mask.
Welcome to Howie Mandel Does Stuff. I'm Howie Mandel.
I'm Jacqueline Schultz, his daughter.
And Al Yankovic is here.
Hey, Howie. Hey,
Yankovic.
Jacqueline.
Hi.
No, it's Vic, actually.
Yankovic.
Yes.
Yes. Weird. You dropped the weird.
Well, no, it's still there. It's like when I'm behind the camera, when I'm writing or directing and producing, it's just Al Yankovic. But in front, it's Weird Al Yankovic.
Really? Even
Yeah.
when you're directing, it's Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Like nobody just says Al.
You can, like Paul Simon says, you can call me Al
Yes. Wow,
if you choose.
there's your next parody. Did you parody that song?
No, we do that sometimes, just a straight cover song on our live show, just for fun.
I find you incredibly fascinating, and we worked together, I think, 40 years ago.
You know, I was going to say you opened for me at the Starlight Amphitheater in Burbank in 1984.
Yes, and I have the backstage pass. Somebody just gave it to me last week, and that's why. And on your movie on Roku, you know, there's a scene where Led Zeppelin, is it Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, like Led Zeppelin wants to reform, but they'll only do it if they can open for me. And Daniel Radcliffe, as me, says, "Yeah, no, I already offered Howie Mandel the gig, so
We have
yeah,
a clip
hard
right
pass
here.
on Zeppelin." Yeah,
You have the clip?
Yeah, he has the clip.
Yes.
Some great calls. Very interesting. Led Zeppelin is thinking about getting back together, but they say the only way they'll do it is if they can open up for you on tour.
I mean, well, that's sweet, but yeah, I already offered the gig to Howie Mandel, so.
So, you know how much play I got from that? Do you know how many calls I got from that? Do you know how many? That movie went through the roof for Roku.
and there's a negative truth in the movie. There's a few things we took creative liberty with, but you know, I had to like brag about my Howie Mandel connection.
Wait. You're saying negative truth. You didn't turn down Led Zeppelin for me?
I think
Please.
it might have been Aerosmith. I don't know. I
Okay.
forget. I'm a little hazy on the early 80s.
And you know, we also worked together on another project. So I'm fascinated because you're like me. You know, I have my manager is my best friend since we were 13, Michael Rotenberg, and I'm with 3 Arts if you want to hire me.
Okay.
But everybody I work with, my managers, my producers, my children, you know, have been with me for a long time. Jay.
Yes,
Jay,
Levy.
Jay Levy, your manager was your manager that night in 1984.
Yes.
And before that, the reason that Jay had called me, or maybe that you knew of me, we did a show called The Fun Zone. He produced on NBC.
That was supposed to take over Saturday Night Live.
Right.
At the time.
At the time, they wanted to take over Saturday Night Live. If Brandon Tartikoff sat in the audience. Remember him and his wife sat in the audience. We did it at NBC. It was called The Fun Zone. So that was the first time I got to meet you, actually, and that was before 1984.
And I also found years before then. I mean, I used to go to the comedy clubs around LA, and you always blew me away. So, yeah.
I was a fan of yours when I know a lot about you and I know a lot about your history, but you were a big fan of Dr. Demento too. Before that, I think that's your launching pad.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Right. So the Dr. Demento show, is he still alive?
He is. He's not on terrestrial radio, but he still does a show from his living room on like drdemento.com. So he's still doing it.
He really is.
Oh, yeah.
So, and he was on Fun Zone too, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So, but I used to listen, and I think it was late Sunday nights in Toronto. It was a syndicated show, the Dr. Demento show. Are you familiar with the Dr. Demento show?
Nope.
So it was the only place where you can hear like crazy songs and parodies, and there's, if I said the names of the people to you, you probably wouldn't know who they are.
Spike Jones, Alan Sherman, Tom Lehrer, Stan Freberg.
All those names.
No.
None of those ring a bell?
recognition. No. Okay.
They were all like really funny songs. And then this kid, you're younger than me. So you were like 15 or 16.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, you're about 15, 16. He does a parody. What was the first parody you did?
I mean, the first thing Dr. ever played was an original song. It was a love song about my car called Belvedere Cruising. But the first parody that really hit big was My Bologna.
My Bologna. Yeah, and then he became big from that. You know, the knack, My Sharona. Do you know what that is?
I know My Sharona, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good. And then the rest is history. But it's not really, because I thought like on radio traditionally, you know, like some of the DJs would always do like little parodies and stuff. But you made it like an art form where that became, they always had submissions from different people, but you made it I was fascinated how it became a career. And I felt, and maybe that's just my perspective, that some of these parodies, surpassed the original.
Well,
but I'm going to give you some stats before we talk about it. You have been, I think you're one of 3 artists, including Madonna and Michael Jackson, that have had hits on
top 40 for the last 4 decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I listen to your songs more than I listen to the originals, and I love the originals from the President of the United States of America, and she's Gump,
right?
Yeah, I listened to that all the time when I was younger. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that some of my songs surpass the original, and it cracks me up. But it actually is true that in Australia, where I'm heading shortly, "Eat It" went to number 1, my only number 1 single anywhere, and in the same country, "Beat It" by Michael Jackson only went to number 3.
So
no way.
Yeah. Yes. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Because people would rather eat it than beat it.
Well, I'll take your word
for that. And the music videos were incredible too.
They were a lot of them were verbatim, takeoffs on the original ones. Yeah. But you directed, didn't you? You direct them, or
well, Jay Levy, my manager, directed most of my videos in the '80s, and after that, I started directing my own. Yeah.
Yeah, and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have you had any? Were there any? I was always fascinated that you would go to the artist. Because you were really a nice person, you would go to the artist and say, "This is my idea, or this is what I want to do, and I want your blessing." If for those of you who aren't in the business, you don't have to do that. Parody is legal.
Well, it's always a gray area. I mean, you can usually get away with it, but we live in a very litigious world, and I don't want anybody, to sue me, or in some cases, like I don't want to be involved in a drive-by shooting. That's never fun. Never fun. So yeah, I always get the blessing of the original songwriters and the artists to make sure that they're cool with what I do.
Do you tell them, do you record it and then play it for them and say this is okay? Or you just tell them this is my idea?
No, it's a lot of work. Even writing the song, I don't even want to go through the trouble of writing a whole song if they're going to turn it down. So basically, I'll come up with a high concept, an idea. Like here, I want to do a parody of your song, and here's my general concept. And if they're fine with it, then I'll go through the trouble of writing a song. But if they just say, we hate comedy, leave us alone, then I will.
So, is there anyone that's come after the fact and said, never mind, we change our mind, or they see it and they're like, we're not into it, or they get offended?
No, I mean, there's no surprises. I mean, I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm not trying to surprise anybody. I know I said I was going to do this, but instead the whole song is about how you're a horrible person. I mean, I don't do any of that. It's all meant in good fun, and it's not mean-spirited, and I've never had anybody sorry that they gave me their blessing.
But did you call Michael Jackson and say, I know you got beat it, I want to eat it? Like, did you say that to Michael?
Not directly, but my peeps talked to his peeps, and there is in fact a document, an actual legal document with my signature next to Michael Jackson's signature, saying we are the co-writers of "Eat It."
Oh, so
because he wrote the music. Obviously.
Oh, you give them credit.
Do they get?
Yes, of course. It's Michael's music, so it's like my lyrics, his music.
So did he make a lot of money on that?
Oh, he made the big bucks off of me, man.
Did he?
Yeah, he made enough to buy the other glove. That's how much money Michael Jackson made off of me.
Can you give us an idea of what he made? You don't have to tell us.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I mean, I can't even guess. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't need the pocket change he made off of "Eat It."
He's dead. He doesn't need
what?
the pocket change. Oh, what a way to find it.
What a horrible way to find out.
Surprise.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize that you weren't informed. Al is also, we were just talking beforehand, and somebody asked you, were you a real musician? And I think you are.
Thank you, Howie. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Well, not just I think you're a musician and a comedian and an entertainer and a writer and a dessert topping?
Yeah.
What is a Yankovic?
What?
If you want to put...
It's a creamy swirl.
You're a creamy swirl?
Creamy swirl.
No, that's what I said. What did you think I said?
Queenie squirrel.
A queenie
squirrel. That's a whole different dessert. But as opposed to
Al's a queenie squirrel.
What?
Al is a queenie squirrel.
Al is a queenie
could be.
Really? That's a parody of a creamy swirl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, what makes you a creamy swirl?
A Queenie squirrel?
No, okay, or that. What makes you a creamy swirl?
You'd have to ask Howie. He's the one who said it.
What I can't wait now is to see this podcast because it does play on YouTube, and Jeremy always takes things that people say and he'll find an image for it. So I can't wait to see a Queenie squirrel. Right, Jeremy?
Yeah,
that's
thumbs
it.
up.
You have a lot of fans here today.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Hey,
they're
guys.
big fans. When you started out, you were like a kid. You're from
Embryo.
here.
Fetus. Yeah.
I'm not going to go back to the
Okay.
creamy swirl.
Okay.
That's the creamy swirl.
Okay.
Yes. What I was saying was I read that a guy came door to door to sell music lessons.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of a door-to-door music lesson salesman.
It's hard to think of anybody going door to door nowadays, but this is like the mid 60s. So I guess at the time it was still okay.
Well,
for people to
I
show
have
up
been
at your
around for a
doorstep.
long time. I'm older than you. I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm friends with a lot of musicians and a lot of people in the business. Nobody has ever told me about the fact that they weren't interested in music, and then a guy came to the door.
You know, I'll tell you, I just found out about this since her passing, but Judy Tenuta started the same way. Somebody came to her house offering accordion lessons, and that's why she played accordion.
The same guy. This is accordion. I guess it
Same
was
guy.
hard to get kids to show up for accordion lessons, so you go door to door. Because that's pretty interesting. So he came to the door. He offered either guitar or accordion.
Yes.
But your parents thought that the accordion would be better for you to ensure that you would meet ladies.
That's exactly right. You're the life of every party when you play the accordion.
Well,
Who wouldn't want an accordion play in your house?
Guitars were for riffraffs.
Yes. Delinquents.
Yeah.
And also
Ne'er-do-wells.
And then you see guys who are trying to be cool playing the air guitar at a party. You don't see people playing a lot of air accordion.
Well, Trump does that.
Oh, you're right. So you took accordion lessons. Did you ever? I feel like most people like have this aspiration, or they have a dream of wanting to do. Like at that time, did you know you wanted to be in show business? I know you went to school. You're an architect. Are you an architect?
Well, I got my degree in architecture. That doesn't make me an architect. But I went to college. I got my degree. And I never really thought, certainly not as a kid, I never thought I'd have anything remotely to do with show business in my adult life. It just kind of boggles my mind that things worked out this way because, I never would have thought, given my skill set as an accordion playing weirdo, that would somehow translate into pop culture success.
Now, weirdo. You say a weirdo. Were you a weirdo as a kid?
Well, kind of. I mean, I was an alpha nerd. I was like one of these kind of guys that you would not want to be hanging around with at recess or at the lunch table. I was a straight A student. I was valedictorian. I was one of these smart kids with very poor social skills. So, yeah. I'd consider myself a weirdo.
Were you bullied? Were you
a little bit? I mean, I never got really beat up or anything like that. But I got.
It's hard to hit a guy with an accordion.
It's a good defense mechanism.
Right. So were you a happy kid?
Yeah, generally. I mean, it was my parents were very supportive, and it was a nice home life. My mother was extremely protective, so it was a very sheltered childhood.
Are you an only child?
So far, yeah.
So you're playing accordion, you go to school, you're a valedictorian, you're doing great. Just for fun, you're listening to Dr. Demento and you write parodies about your car.
Right.
And you send it in with no aspiration that this is going to be a career, just be a fun thing to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you always have your pipe dreams and you have your fantasies, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would actually do what I'm currently doing for a living.
Did your parents know that, so then you sent in another song, which was My Bologna, and that thing took off. When you say it took off, you recorded that, and Dr. Demento played it, right?
Yeah, it was literally recorded in a public bathroom, like in the movie, which is one of the few things that's true in the movie. But yeah, I was sending that tape, and that actually became an actual hit on the Dr. Demento show. It got sent all around the world, and it was recorded in a bathroom, just me and the accordion, but it became a viral hit.
And back then, being a viral hit back then from the bathroom, do you get paid for that?
No. but I got I got the people at school saying, oh, I heard your My Bologna song, so I became a campus celebrity of sorts. But no, the checks are not rolling in. I actually got that song released on Capitol Records because the NAC played Cal Poly where I was going to school, And I went backstage to meet the guys in the band. I don't know how I got in. I kind of snuck in. And I went up to Doug Feiger, the lead singer, and I said, hey, my name's Al Yankovic. And oh, you're the My Bologna guy. And he turns to his right and he says, hey, you should put this guy out on Capitol Records. And the guy to his right happened to be Rupert Perry, the then vice president of Capitol Records, who just happened to be at this show. So as a lark, they put out My Bologna, the original bathroom recording, on Capitol Records. So even though, I mean,
when they put it out, what does that mean? Did they make they I don't know what that means.
We wrote up a contract. I think I got paid a flat sum of $500 for the master to My Bologna. And, I don't know how many copies they pressed up. They came out Christmas Eve, 1979, officially, and sold 5 copies. I don't know how many. But, it didn't make any kind of, splash in the industry, but it was a big deal for me because I got taken around the Capitol Records Tower and introduced to all the secretaries, like, here's our newest artist. It was all very tongue-in-cheek, but I was saying, this is where the Beatles put out their records. This is like a cool thing. And that's exactly what got me thinking, yeah, this would be a lot more fun than being an architect. Maybe I should think about this.
So what is the next move?
I got a job working in a mailroom, actually
at Westwood One,
where the syndicated Dr. Demento.
But that was just, and what was the thought there? Was the thought there to be at a radio station? Or?
Well, that was a nice bonus. Mostly it was to pay for my macaroni and cheese because I had to live. But yeah, I was like,
you had already graduated college?
Yes, yeah. So it was just a couple of years where I'm just like toiling away at a day job, and in the meantime,
why didn't you get a job at an architect company or?
Didn't want to. I mean, I just kind of once I graduated, I just kind of wanted to get as far away from architecture as possible.
And what were your parents? Go ahead.
Thing.
You asked.
Was your parents supportive of your decision not to go into architecture and to go?
Yeah, they were always very supportive. I mean, they weren't upset that their kid now didn't want anything to do with the degree he'd just gotten. But my mother did give me some sage words of advice. She said, "Stay out of Hollywood. There are evil people there." And she's not wrong. But I think they were a little nervous, but they knew that I was a pretty adult-minded and grounded kid, and I wasn't going to do anything too stupid.
So you're at Westwood One. They take you in to meet the people at Capitol Records. You met all the secretaries. Did they sign you to a deal?
Well, the deal was for one single, and they never. I'm sure they never anticipated me giving them anything beyond that. I mean, I started sending them things like, "How about this one? Why don't you put this out?" And it's like, "Yeah, no, we did you already. I think we're done." So they certainly didn't think I would have a 40-year-long career. They thought, okay, one and done. Thanks very much.
So at this point in your life, you don't think you have a career. You're just doing, you have a job and you have some fun little highlights. So what is the next thing?
I keep writing songs. I keep doing stuff for Dr. Demento, and I kept putting myself out there. And some local radio stations in LA would play some of my homemade parodies, and made enough of a buzz that at 1 or 2 record companies were semi-interested, and finally got signed to Scotti Brothers in 1982.
And was that financially enough for you to leave your day job, right?
It was. I mean, barely. They didn't give me a big pile of money and say, "Congratulations, you're a recording artist." It was, they signed me to a 10-album deal.
10 albums.
And that sounds like a lot, and it is. But it wasn't like we are going to put out 10 albums. That was just like a draconian situation where it's like, if by some complete fluke you happen to have a long career, we've got you. We've got you for all these records. But I don't think even they thought that I would finish my contract.
Did you finish that contract?
I did, and they tacked on 4 more when we renegotiated. So it wound up being a 14-album deal. It took me 32 years to fulfill my recording contract, which I did in 2014.
But when you renew and you sign a new contract, you're obviously able to ask for way more than the previous 10, right?
That is correct. Yeah, that's why you renegotiate.
Yeah.
Because the first deal I signed was just a bad deal, but it was sort of like, do you want to take this deal or do you want to keep working in the mailroom?
But that you couldn't renegotiate the deal. That's 10 albums. That bad deal was for 10 albums.
Right. So the only way they'd renegotiate it is if I added extra albums to the deal. So
right, but were you able to make a living and live off of what you were doing on the 10 albums? Oh, I guess you had live performing and you had that.
No, I mean, it wasn't nothing. I mean, it was it was enough to live off of, but I certainly, didn't I wasn't rich. I wasn't making a lot of money. There was a brief window of time, like in the mid 90s, where I actually had a good record deal and people were still buying records. And there's all like, I made most of my money like between 1996 and 1998, I think.
Right. And right now it's a problem. I don't really understand the music business that much, but at the time or at those times, people were buying records and you can make money in buying records. And now people are, and you seem to have pivoted to digital. So they can stream and download. Is that lucrative?
Well, it's mostly. I mean, to this day I make most of my money through touring and merchandise. I mean, I make some money from recordings, but streaming is very little. You hear about people like, oh, I had 5 billion streams, I made $300.
Right.
It's not it's not nothing, but it's not what it should be.
And do you continue to listen to? I don't know how you find, like, when you used to parody, like Beat It was like it was everywhere, and that was, everybody knew that was the hit. Right. I find that now with Spotify and things like that, you have your own. You can be very compartmentalized.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I don't know what top 40 is anymore.
Well, that's one of my other big problems now. I mean, back in the 80s, there was more of a monoculture. Like, everybody watched MTV, everybody knew what the hits were. A lot of the radio stations are playing the same thing. And now, there's all these options. So if you're into a very specific subgenre of music, you can listen to that satellite radio channel, or just laser focus on whatever you really, really like, which is good in a way, but also, I miss the day of top 40 radio when you could listen to a channel and be exposed to country and R&B and rock and, everything. And I think it, made us as a culture a bit more well-rounded. And I kind of miss those days.
And it makes it harder for you to kind of choose something that's going to, but though there are things that rise to the top.
Of course.
Like, I can't imagine what an Al Yankovic parody of Wet Ass Pussy would be.
That'd be better as a polka, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's actually done. But it should just, but there are things that do rise to the top. Are you still writing? Are you still releasing?
Not as much. Yeah, a bit. I mean, I haven't really done any straight up parodies for a while, but I've done some original songs. There's a new original song in the movie. And every now and then. So I haven't been super prolific since my last album came out. I've been, working on the movie, working on various other projects, and touring a lot. So I haven't stopped doing it, but I've just slowed down.
And do you like doing original songs that you write as equally, or do you like that better than having to do a parody? Is there more?
I like them both. I mean, they're two different mindsets. And doing the parodies is not as much work because you don't have to write the music, obviously, but there's sort of more pressure because people really attach a lot of importance to like a new Weird Al parody. So it's a bit of a trade-off, but lately I've been writing more originals just because I get asked to do various projects. Like John Oliver asked me to write a song for North Korea to ask them not to bomb us.
Right.
So I did that, and Lin-Manuel Miranda had me do the Hamilton polka.
Yeah.
So I've done a few projects here and there, but I've got a lot of time after this next tour, so maybe I'll figure out something new.
But these guys are calling you and asking you to do things. You went from like the fringe to you are like mainstream, and that's amazing. And not only that, and relevant at this point after all these years. It's been over 40 years also for you.
Yeah, it's kind of strange for me to be considered part of the mainstream because I started out as such an outsider, like this punk kid, like making fun of all the people in the inner circle. You're
the inner circle.
And now I'm going to the same parties and the award shows, and I'm like rubbing elbows with the people I'm making fun of. So it's a little bit of a different dynamic.
Hands.
Yeah. Of course.
Does your kid want to do this?
No, my daughter Nina, she's a sophomore in college. She's majoring in environmental science.
Right.
So she's going to save the world for us. And she's taking harp lessons, so maybe she'll be like a very famous harp player. That's like the one instrument we never had in the house. We had drums and guitars and accordions, anything you could think of except for harp, which is what she's now playing.
Wow. And does your wife play an instrument?
No. No, she does. I think she took violin lessons when she was a little kid, which she hated. And she won't even sing around me.
The violin, the harp, and the accordion all in one house. It sounds
super
like,
group.
Did your daughter think you were really cool growing up? Were you like the cool dad?
I guess. I mean, she's got a pretty good attitude. She's never starstruck by anybody, but she's also not jaded. So it's just sort of like her normal life. Like, oh yeah, my dad's Weird Al. Yeah, that's my life.
Weird Al. Was it weird when she brought people home? Is she dating?
She's had 1 or 2 boyfriends.
And then they come in and meet Weird Al. What is that like?
I remember after my first handshake after the pandemic was meeting the guy that she took to the senior prom. So it's one of these weird things where like I meet him and he extends his hand and I go, oh, I guess we're doing this. Hi, nice to meet you.
That's like every moment at my house. That's fantastic. Are you a overprotective father?
I try not to be because you try to correct what was wrong with your own life. So I try to let her live her own life.
But you had a good relationship. You had a really good upbringing.
Oh, absolutely. And again, like my daughter is like very smart and very grounded, and I trust she's not going to do anything super stupid.
I was also, not to bring it down a little bit, but I also was fascinated with your amazing words and the tragedy of the loss of your parents who, died in a fire, right? Carbon monoxide, yeah. Yeah, they lit up. They didn't have the flume open.
Yeah, right.
And and you were in the midst of a tour.
Yeah.
And made the decision in that moment and that night to not leave the tour. You just continued, like even that night, doing a show. I don't know how, but
yeah,
that seemed like monumental strength and.
It's something I would not have wanted to do. I would have rather just like crawled into a hole and not seen anybody for a month. But the fact was I was in the middle of a tour, and a lot of people are depending on me. I've got a whole band and a whole crew that they made sacrifices to be part of the tour. I've got a lot of people that bought tickets that were in their seats, and I didn't want to disrupt everybody else's life, so I tried to just suck it up and try to it was a lot of kind of denial, like pretending like everything was okay, to go out on stage and smile and do a comedy show, and even though like inside I was just crumbling. So yeah, it was not an easy thing to get through, but I
but
did
also
my best,
amazing. It kind of speaks to who you are, and it was kind of I remember reading about it when it happened, and I remember like I kept thinking, and I don't think I'm alone, is I would not be able to. I wish I could do that. You are an amazing human being for just your ability to do that, and when you speak of such loss and personal tragedy, the ability to even for a moment think about other people, to think about your band, the people you work with, the people that are depending on you. And then again, last but not least, maybe this can distract me for a moment and get me out of the darkness. But you thought of other people at that time, kind of speaks volumes to the man they raised. It's a great legacy for your parents that you were able to do that.
Yeah, thanks. It was one of those kind of things. I'm kind of the show must go on kind of guy, and also I don't like to put people out, and I didn't even want people to really know about it. I figured I want to keep this misery to myself and not walk out on stage and have people feeling sorry for me, because it's a comedy show. I didn't want.
Did they know? Did that audience that night? It was big news. I remember. I knew.
That was the thing. It was like I was thinking it was going to be a very quiet thing, and I was not even going to tell the crew. I was just going to I didn't want people walking on eggshells around me. But like within an hour, it was like worldwide news.
Right.
So people knew about it. So I had to address it. I had to, I think we put something up on a screen saying that tonight's performance is dedicated to the memory of my parents. So we addressed it, and then we just kind of had to move on and do a comedy show. And I think, it was nice for me because I got a lot of love and support from the fans. I mean, people knew what I was putting myself through, even just to be there, to be on stage. And I really felt an extra dose of love coming from people. And again, it's not something that I would have chosen to do, to perform in that context, but it was cathartic for me. It really, it meant a lot to me to know that people were, supporting me and grieving with me and helping me get through it.
But they got the good news is they got to see your success. They got to and
meet my child as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
and you have you know, and I didn't want to bring this down, but I think that the humor and the stamina of being able to keep this career going for so long is great. But also I don't know that people know or even, but I kind of, and I don't. But between the lines, you seem like an amazing human being, and you're a good person. You've been in this business for all this time. You are you don't do drugs, you don't do bad things. The things your mother warned you about from Hollywood, you've kind of stayed away from.
Yeah.
I don't know how you were able to. Was there ever attempt to just, or are you religious?
Yeah. I mean, I it's just the way I was raised. I mean, I don't even swear. I'm pretty straight laced. So I mean, that's kept me out of trouble, I suppose. But
you don't swear?
No.
A lot of people.
Heck no.
Heck no.
A lot of people go against what they were raised as. You know, like a lot of people will come from really religious families or conservative families and then just break free and do the complete opposite.
Right.
So that's not something that was tempting to you at all.
Not so much. I mean, I hear about people like, that were raised vegan and then they get away from home and like, I'm going to eat at McDonald's every day, But no, I wasn't like rebelling in that sense. I mean,
you're vegan, right?
Yeah, vegan/vegetarian. I cheat on the dairy every now and then, but yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
Early 90s, 92 maybe.
Why?
I read a friend of mine gave me a book called Diet for a New America, and I read it, and it made sense from a social, political, and health perspective, and it made a good argument. So I said, okay, I'll do it.
And just like that, boom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Is your family also vegan?
Yeah, mostly. My wife goes back and forth. I mean, she's currently vegetarian. And when she got pregnant, she started eating meat because she was craving it. She'd see a billboard for like prime rib and go, "Oh, I gotta have that!" Like, who are you? What happened? Where's my wife?
That's what happened to me. I was vegetarian for 6 years, and then I got pregnant, and that was it. I had burgers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't eat meat for 30 years, and then I had a hot
But
dog.
why? What was that?
I
You
don't
didn't
know.
eat red meat, but why?
I don't know.
You forget?
I forgot. I forgot. And now that I started eating meat, my memory is so much better. And now I remember I didn't like just eating vegetables. But that's terrible. But you have a lot of discipline. That kind of speaks to who your character is too. Have you ever just wanted to, because we all who have been in this business have these dips, and like right now you're riding a really nice wave. That movie is through the roof. Your concerts are doing great. You're off to Australia, but I'm sure there's been like quiet times. Did you ever want to give up or think about maybe doing something else? Or?
Well, it took me a while to realize that careers generally have peaks and valleys. Like in the 80s, I was putting out an album every year because I just couldn't believe I had a career. I couldn't believe like people were buying my records and I was getting to do that for a living. I just didn't want people to forget about me. My first big dip, I think my fourth album didn't sell as well as my third album. I was like, oh no, my career's over. I thought it was like one big bell curve and I was on my way to, anonymity. But I've had a lot of peaks and valleys in my career. So a saying that I like to use is try to be the climate, not the weather. Like, don't get all freaked out. No, don't be too full of yourself if you're at a peak, and don't get too depressed when you're in a valley. Just try to keep an even keel because, everything kind of averages out over the long run.
It really does. It really does. But it's kind of with people like you who have to, and maybe me, who have to be, it's hard to be creative in the valley.
Yeah.
I think, because you're so discouraged or you feel like there's something
We're doing the show in the valley, so why are you doing it here?
I see what you did there. You see what he did there? There was
Because we're literally in the valley.
Yeah, people don't know that. Van Nuys, California, the San Fernando Valley. Wow, it's a joke on location. Is there something that you wrote the movie? Do you want to write more film? Do you like that process?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I've never not wanted to do movies. I mean, ever since UHF came out in 1989.
Which is like over 30 years ago.
Yeah, 33-ish. And it tanked at the box office. It's gone on to become a cult classic and beloved by fans, but it did not burn up the box office. So it's always been tough for me to come back from that. And this new movie is my first movie since then, and now people are going, oh, it's actually good. So hopefully, there'll be more.
But you have written and produced a lot of things. You had your own TV show on
Saturday morning. Yeah, like was it the same time as Bobby's World? Or at the same time?
Yes, it was the same time.
So the Weird Al show on CBS.
Yes. So you wrote it and starred in it.
I was one of the writers, and starred in it. Yeah, that was a tough one to do because we sold that because we agreed to be part of the FCC mandate that this would be an educational show.
What did you learn?
Very little. Yeah, because when we were pitching it, like we were in the room and they were loving it and they're saying, we love this show, but we're only buying educational programs. And we said, oh, this is educational? So we had to have a lesson, quote unquote, for every show. Which we were forced to ram down kids' throats. So it was a very schizophrenic show in that there was some stuff that I thought was really funny and that I enjoyed doing, and there was some stuff which we were under duress to include. So and there actually the commentary, if you got the DVD, the commentary is probably funnier than the actual show because it's me and the producers just going like, oh, I can't believe we had to do this.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So you don't think of it, you don't think upon it kindly, like it's not a
mixed. I mean, again, there's some. I could put together clips from the show that I think are great, and there are a lot of parts of the show where I kind of wince a bit.
Is there something that you haven't done or that you did before and you're not doing now that you want to do?
Not that it comes to. Are you thinking of something in particular?
No, are you? No, but what I was saying was because you've written, you directed, you've hosted, your own shows. Do you want to do more film? I'm saying it could be something you have done.
Yeah.
Like, do you think beyond today? Like, is there a dream? Is there something more?
I've been so lucky to do everything that I've done so far in my life. I mean, I'd like to continue doing all of it. There's not really any real bucket list thing that I haven't done yet. I'm just grateful I'm still here and just doing what I love to do.
Do you write every day? Like when you get up? What do you do? What do you do when you're not doing what we see you're doing? Do you have a hobby?
Yeah, I mean, there's no like normal day for me. There's no typical day because it depends if I'm on the road or if I'm in doing a big project or if I'm just like hanging at home with my wife.
Do you have a collection?
Stamp collection.
No, I'm a bit of a hoarder.
Well, that's not a collection.
I know. I used to
know hoarder's mine. It is a collection.
Yeah, I mean, I used to collect Hawaiian shirts. That used to be on my concert rider. Like if Al does a show, you have to supply one really tacky Hawaiian shirt. So I wound up with hundreds and hundreds of shirts.
And where are those today?
Well, some of them I have, but when I got married, my wife went through my storage locker and said, "Okay, this stays, this goes." And she, I think
on eBay, you could have made a fortune.
Well, that would have taken a while. We gave literally 700 or 800 Hawaiian shirts to Goodwill.
To Goodwill?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there are people walking around.
So a lot of people that we think are homeless are just big
Weird Al fans.
Weird Al fans. That's amazing. Do you? So there is nothing. You don't make models. You don't.
No, I mean, in my free time, I surf the internet and play video games and stuff like that. I'm like 14 years old.
What is your video game? Are you a Fortnite player?
Not Fortnite. What do I do? It's a little bit of Grand Theft Auto and God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn and that kind of stuff.
My son too.
Yeah.
Her son's 5.
6.
Six.
I'm 6 years old at heart.
That's fantastic. Do you? What do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to?
I'm a little out of touch these days. I kind of listen to whatever my daughter listens to in the car. She's got the AUX, as they say, the auxiliary cord. So she turns me on to like a lot of new music. So nowadays, now that I'm not like focused so much on the Billboard charts, I listen to stuff that I used to listen to in college. Because that's like my comfort. My comfort food is like.
Who did you listen to in college?
A lot of British invasion bands. The Beatles and Stones and the Kinks and the Who, and a lot of new wave like Oingo Boingo and Devo and Talking Heads and B-52s. REM and
you probably met a lot of these people and know
over
them.
the years, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Do you? What movies? What is the last movie you saw that you loved?
That I saw? Oh gosh.
Don't tell me one that you haven't seen that you
loved.
I'm very glad that Everything Everywhere Everything All at Once is doing
Yeah.
so well. I'm a big fan of that. Jamie Lee Curtis is a friend of mine, so I'm thrilled she got her Oscar nomination.
Fantastic. You're friends with her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when
she's like my wife's best friend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you see her a lot. Wow. And are you friends with her husband, Christopher?
Yes, yeah.
I love his movies.
He's the best.
He is. Have you ever? He doesn't really make movies anymore or do too much anymore.
He's slowed down too.
Yes.
But I'm sure he's still got something.
You guys would be a great collaboration. A Christopher Guest, Al Yankovic movie.
Absolutely.
I would go see that. Best in parody.
Best in
Best in parody. I love it. Do you hang with a lot of Hollywood people?
I don't know. I don't know about. I don't hang with many people. You know, I'm kind of a homebody, so I don't go to like a lot of parties and get-togethers. But you know, a lot of my friends are in the biz or in comedy. So, and I still have some of the same friends that I had in college. Like my friend Joel, I've known since college. So one of my closest friends. But yeah.
Well, the guy you wrote the movie with, and he
Eric
directed,
Rappel.
and
Yeah.
isn't that you guys have you worked together for a long time?
Well, I met him.
He bought Funny or Die, right? Or no.
He worked for Funny or Die.
He worked for Funny or Die.
Yeah, so I actually met him when he did the first Weird the Yankovic Story fake video trailer back in 2010. So he approached me and said, "Hey, I want to do this, fake bit, doing like a dramatic version of your life, and what do you think?" And I was like, "That's genius. And by the way, let's collaborate on this. I want to work on this with you." And that started the whole thing.
Wow, that's so weird when somebody comes to you with an idea that is so you. What was that?
Well, that's why he did it, because he felt like it was such a thing that I would do by myself anyway. He just wanted to make sure that he wasn't stepping on my toes. It was very, very nice that way. And I just thought that immediately, like, this is a great idea and we need to do this.
And then you went out to, who approached Daniel Radcliffe? How did you?
Well, this is like 10 years later, because it was just a viral video for the first decade. And then Eric and I thought, well, it would be amazing if Daniel Radcliffe wanted to do this.
You had him in mind when you...
Yeah, we had like a short list of actors that we thought would be good, but we thought, oh, Daniel's our first choice. We got to have Daniel. And we run a Zoom call with Daniel Radcliffe, which was kind of surrealistic. And he'd read the script. And, we weren't expecting him to even like it necessarily. He
was getting on Zoom with you.
Yeah, so we thought, but we've taken a lot of meetings, and mostly it's like, oh yeah, this is really funny, we'll let you know, kind of thing. But on the first Zoom call, Daniel was like, yeah, I'm in. Where do I buy an accordion? I want to start practicing right now. I'm like, what?
Really?
Yeah, he was like, so, apparently his girlfriend Erin was like a big Weird Al fan and would have killed him if he'd said no.
That's fantastic. And did he learn? Can he play the accordion?
He's not ready for like a one-man show, but he learned well enough to fake it. He worked with a friend of his in New York named Pete, and then I gave him some private lessons once he came to LA for pre-production. And for the small handful of people that really know or care, he is in fact playing the right buttons on the accordion. I told him he didn't have to. He didn't. We could shoot around it. We could make it look like you're playing the accordion, but it was really a point of pride with him. He really wanted to make it look right.
That's fantastic that he put that kind of... And when you sit back and you see something like this, I mean, it's just like does it seem like a dream? Does it seem like reality? It's amazing.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's very surreal. I mean, because things fall apart, as you know, in Hollywood all the time. And it wasn't until we were done shooting that I thought, okay, I think I might be making a movie. Because at any point, things can just go south. I mean, we had a very small budget and a tight schedule. We had 18 days to shoot the whole movie. That's it. That's
crazy.
And we're in the middle of COVID. So like if one of our stars got COVID, we're done. I mean, there's no reshoots. There's like the movie's over. And every day I was like, please, no tragedies today. Let's get through this. And we did it. It was a small miracle, but we got the movie made. And it's out, and now I can kind of go, yeah, I guess I've got a movie.
Did you guys have to do one of those crazy, like, bubbles lockdown thing to shoot the movie if it was in the middle of COVID?
Yeah, you have your different zones that you're allowed to be in, and every single morning you had your testing, and we only had one person that showed up and was positive. Aaron Paul, who starred in the original Funny or Die video as me, he was going to do a cameo appearance, and he showed up and he tested positive, and he had to go home, and he was heartbroken, and he was sick as a dog for the next 10 days. It wasn't like some mild case. He was really sick.
Wow.
So that was our only casualty. So we missed him, but
that was just for a cameo.
It was for a cameo, yeah.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
So that's great, and then the rest is like history. I want to continue. And the reason I wanted you to come on here is I want to do something with you.
Okay.
Okay, so that's done. I have no ideas, but I'm just such a big fan. I just want to like make a video with you or do something with you. Are you online? Are you on TikTok and
not TikTok? I'm Ali Yankovic on Twitter and Alfred Yankovic on Instagram, and I think Ali Yankovic on YouTube. Maybe.
Do you do your own posting?
I won't let anybody else do be me.
Yeah. So do you like social media?
Yeah, I mean, it's a time vampire. I mean, I enjoy it, but it sucks away a big part of my life because I'm always like, ego surfing and seeing what people are saying about me and trying to, it's a good sounding board because anything that you do.
Is it? Do you get?
Yeah.
But people
are negative. Like, there's so many even if I don't think it's a good sounding board because it's mostly negative regardless of how great what you're putting out there is, isn't it?
I mute those people, so I never know what they're saying about me.
Really?
So it's all positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So then that's a good time suck. That's just it is such a. You and I have been in this business so long. I think that the landscape is so changed.
Yeah.
Like you really benefited from the MTV era.
Oh, absolutely.
That was so the sweet spot, right? Where you can make these long form, the short form videos, music videos, and talk. But that doesn't really exist anymore. Maybe on Reels.
Well, yes, online. I mean, obviously, music video still exists, so YouTube is still obviously huge.
Right.
Reels, I suppose, but yeah, MTV was. It used to be there were gatekeepers. There were people, in a glass tower in New York that would decide if your video is going to be seen.
Right.
And thankfully, they let my videos be seen. But nowadays, there are no gatekeepers. Like anybody can upload a video, and if it's good, chances are people will see it.
But I think more people would probably click on your name than just the average person doing it.
Yeah, which is why during the early days of Napster, like every single bad song parody was by Weird Al Yankovic, apparently, because they would put my name on it, so people would listen to it. But it wasn't me. Like, and some of them were like horrible, some of them were vulgar, some were racist, and I've had so many parents saying like, "I used to like Weird Al, but not anymore. Can you believe what he did?" So
people were putting up shitty stuff
on
under your name. Were you able to do anything about it?
You can't police the internet, really. It's it's one of those kind of things where it's just kind of like you have to just let people know, like, if my name's on it, it's not necessarily me.
Do you remember the last time we bumped into you? I do.
Okay, I have a memory. This is probably not the last time, but I remember I came to see you at the Comedy Store, and I was like sort of near the back of the room because I don't like to be near the front because you get picked on if you're at a comedy show in the front.
Right.
And you came around, and you were like making fun of the audience, and then you saw me, and then you didn't do any. You gave me like this look of acknowledgement, and I felt like, oh, I'm in the club. It's like a professional courtesy. He didn't like spend 5 minutes like tearing me apart.
But this is my memory. I don't remember that, but I do remember that it was just 2 or 3 years ago in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, New Year's show.
A New Year's show at the hotel.
Like 4 years ago, I think.
And
was that the Alice Cooper thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was Alice Cooper and Aerosmith and Steve Tyler, and you were there. And Jackie here, my daughter, is such a huge fan, and she said, "Can you get me his autograph, right, or a picture with him?" We got a pic.
I have a picture of you with one of your Hawaiian shirts.
In Hawaii. Were you performing in Hawaii, or were you just there?
I was there for the Alice Cooper thing, so I was one of the acts that night, I guess.
Yeah, and then so that was she wanted your autograph, and you were very nice. You gave your autograph. Are you good? Do you like when people approach you for your autograph? Or
I don't mind it. Sure, why not?
Because there's somebody here that wanted your autograph too. Who was it? Who wanted?
I also thought it was amazing because usually acts after they're done will go like backstage and just hang out backstage. You were watching like every single act.
Oh, I'm a fan of all.
Yeah.
You were sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
I want to watch like Steven Tyler and Alice Cooper on stage. I mean, I used to the last time when I was a teenager, I would be in an arena like 3 miles back watching Alice Cooper. So
you know what we should find? I think there's video. I think you guys all went up after, and they asked you to come up too with like a cowbell, and it is he has zero rhythm, zero. He can't be on beat. All he had to do was hit a cowbell, and you could not do it. So I think we should find that video.
But here's what I wanted to do because we were talking about. I want to do that. So it's one of my crew members who wants to who wanted to have his autograph. Who was telling me?
Seth
Seth wants. He's a huge fan. He wants an autograph. I know we're right in the middle, but he wants a permanent autograph.
Like on his forehead?
No, he's going to tattoo it. You're going to write it right now. Yeah, he's going to.
Really?
Yes.
Are you comfortable doing a tattoo?
Of course.
Really?
There's a lot of Weird Al tattoos in the world, oddly enough.
But have you actually made it?
Yeah, I've done that too.
So you're going to tattoo Seth.
Oh, actually tattoo him?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that.
Oh, I think you are. If he's not comfortable, just show him what to do.
I'll Sharpie it on, but I don't think I'll.
We brought a tattoo gun if you wanted to.
Oh man, you don't want this. You do not want this.
No, it's not a first one.
It's not a first one. You'll see.
He has them all over his body.
He's a big fan.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, yay!
I don't want this to start a thing. Don't come up to me after the show. It's like, here's a tattoo gun.
Yeah.
All right.
No, this is the one and only. One and only.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, what am I
doing? Look at he's such a fan.
Sure? Are you really sure?
Yeah. He's
Yikes.
wearing he's sure. He's a big fan. Well, he's a big fan of us too. He's wearing our stuff merch.
Oh man.
Oh, there we go.
I'm not licensed or
Wait,
anything.
is
Do
Seth
I need to
taking
know
off
anything?
his pants?
How are you going to get it on your leg?
Are you taking off your pants?
You have what?
My swim trunks.
You have swim trunks on? He kind of thought.
I even shaved.
Oh, look. That's my
man.
son bringing a...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. You should be the one that's more worried than him.
No, Seth doesn't care.
Seth doesn't care. He's such a huge fan. He doesn't show up to any of our podcasts. He said, you have Weird Al here. He's my favorite. And look, come here. Do
I
this
feel
on
like,
camera.
Jeremy, can we
Do it
play
on camera.
sexy music? Well,
You don't have a camera there, Seth.
he doesn't want to be filmed taking off his pants.
Okay. Those are swim trunks?
These are all my people that had.
Okay.
Initials, so.
What? Those are, what do you have there? Let me see what you have there.
It's your son's name right there.
Oh, my son's been on your thigh?
He's been on my thigh,
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay, so sit beside you.
yeah. Hand sanitizer as well.
Hand sanitizer. This is so...
Is there blood involved? I've never been around
A paper towel from someone.
Paper towel? Who does he have to put on gloves?
Yeah.
Okay,
Band-Aid.
all right.
This is the first tattoo you've ever given.
It is definitely the first tattoo I've ever given.
There's
He
hand
doesn't swear,
sanitizer.
he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, but he does.
He will
give
carve his
tattoo.
name into a strange man's thigh.
Yeah.
The thing with
Okay.
tattoos is you
This
just
is-
barely gotta touch it.
Yeah, just barely touch it. Light touched.
Okay.
What an amazing opportunity. The person you're with is not smiling. Is she okay? Who is that? Is that?
No, that's not.
Oh, she's not with No. Are we plugged in? This is exciting. Look, how many times have you had to put on the one place you got to put on gloves on a podcast?
Howie
is the Howie Mandel Does Stuff podcast.
That's not even for tattoos. It's just gloves.
What?
What do you mean what?
Okay. So this is what are you gonna Seth, what do you you've been
Is
a
it
fan,
just-
you have his albums, you've been listening to him for years?
Yeah, of course. So growing up, my mother was very strict with what I was allowed to listen to, and it was Christian music and Weird Al.
I hear that a lot, and it always surprises me because even though I don't swear in my songs, some of them are really dark. I mean, like violent and like.
So it was you and Jesus. Jesus isn't here today to give him a tattoo. So that's what is that? What are you opening up now? Talk
needle.
out loud.
It's a
What?
needle.
A needle. Needles.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want me to like sign your leg and then go over it with the needle? Is that the
I
idea?
just go straight with the needle.
Okay.
There's no practice. One and done.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Where do you get this equipment? Where did you get this equipment?
Just Amazon Prime.
No, you didn't.
All right.
Wow. So this is
Straight from Jeff.
And how do you ensure that it's done? Do you have alcohol or something?
We got gloves and.
He's got gloves.
I've got gloves.
Well, I'm sure
Well,
this
yeah.
doesn't look like the first time he's done this. Look, all his friends have tattoos.
As long as he's clean, I'm good.
Are you clean, Al?
Mostly.
Where were you before here? What have you touched so far today? Give us a list of all the things
What
you've
haven't
touched.
I touched? Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
All right.
Is this the weirdest autograph
You
you've
tell
ever
your
given?
daughter this. This is cool.
This might be it. I mean, I've autographed a lot of odd body parts and odd things, but I've never literally given a tattoo to anybody.
What is the oddest, most uncomfortable body part somebody has asked you to write on?
I think probably butt.
Yeah, man or woman?
I forget.
From that angle,
Today.
it's all the same.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
do they have you like write your name and then they'll go somewhere and get it
He doesn't know what they do after he writes his name.
It's hard to know.
But there are probably people with Al Yankovic tattoos.
Oh, you should do this. Maybe put this up as a visual. Search for Weird Al back tattoo.
Weird Al back tattoo.
And there's a guy
Jenny.
that's got my image like bigger than life across his entire back.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna
there's
see
a
that.
lot
there
of
it
you.
is. There it is.
There it is.
Do you see it?
Oh my God.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna
So
do.
this is nothing.
So Seth, take off your shirt and let him try to copy that.
So it might be easier if we swap spots.
Okay, let's do that.
So
Should I? I'll just.
You walk around, Seth. Let
right.
him slide over.
So this is my microphone. Oh, this is a better microphone anyway.
Is it?
What was I doing with the other one? Okay.
Is it
Oh. Okay. The needle is in.
Do we have all of our guests sit in front of the worst microphone?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Sound has never been an issue on
Can we
this show.
start over? This is so much better.
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll just. Kyle, he's saying the sound is better on that microphone. Is that true? Kyle's our
You're
sound guy.
They should be the same.
Oh, so you haven't been listening.
Maybe it's the headphone.
Have you not been listening for the show? To the show?
Sounds the same to me.
He doesn't. But didn't you lose a lot of your hearing?
Okay.
Have you lost some hearing?
I don't think so.
No. Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
well,
thought
you
you
do
did.
this on.
I
Do
get
this. Say it on
some,
mic, Seth.
Roku
Sit
speakers.
down
All
and
right.
talk to him.
I've got a pedal which I'm hitting with my foot, which is making it buzz.
go.
Buzz.
So
What
that-
does it do?
so
Hold it
so
near.
you-
Hold the thing near the mic so we can hear what it does. And what is that doing? It's like a sewing machine.
I guess so. We're gonna
Oh, it's a
So-
faster one now.
You step up. What?
So you just dip it in there,
dip it,
Dip it.
and forget it.
dip it, forget it, and
Dip it
stick-
good.
So
Oh
show
my
me
God.
exactly where you want this.
No, don't.
know.
Don't show him. Let him
I
guess.
shaved for you.
Right. Oh, right there.
You
Got it.
shaved for
I
him?
did.
Okay.
How did you know he was going to say
You
yes?
just plan.
Did you shave or wax?
Shave only?
Shave only.
So how often do I dip? Like one
Just-
dip per letter kind of thing?
Yeah, I'll let you know. One dip for a full.
He'll
line.
let you know.
For a full line?
Yeah.
Okay.
For
So
a
I
whole-
Well, how long is a line?
We'll just go with the flow and see how it looks.
so
Go with the flow.
Do I hit the pedal before I dip it, or do I dip it and then hit the pedal?
You put it in there and hit the pedal a little bit.
Okay, it's gonna. Okay. here
You're
we
not
go.
doing things exactly.
Am I doing? Oh, see?
That's
What
fine.
happened? What happened?
The
It's
ink went
splattered.
all over the place.
Oh,
No, it's good. You're good. You're good now.
what?
No,
Better
it's
ink
on-
than blood.
It's on the needle. It's on the needle. We're
Okay.
good.
Okay. Here we go.
Wait. Why are you checking both legs?
This is a huge.
Do you not know what leg you want it on yet?
Here we go. Are we doing this?
We're doing it.
Okay.
All right. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
What
What
happened?
did I just do?
Paper towel. That's fine.
What is it?
What
Was
is
that
it?
blood?
Made a Rorschach test on his leg.
There you go. You get,
Is
you
it-
got the first line?
I got the first. Okay.
Oh. What?
Oh.
Oh. Is it good?
Okay.
Then
Why are you?
There we
Why
go.
are you going?
I don't know
Oh.
why I'm so nervous. We're
Alright, now
all
let's put
silent
more
on a
ink.
podcast, just watching him get a tattoo.
Did it work?
Oh man.
Is there blood?
A.
Not yet.
A.
Oh,
He's
God.
never done his signature this slowly before.
Did you want to choose a font first?
I'm doing Times New Roman.
What?
let's do some more ink.
Okay.
So, and also he wants a butterfly around it, a butterfly or a rose petal,
Gosh.
tramp stamp.
This is crazy.
Is it?
He's an architect, though, so I feel like he's a good artist.
That doesn't make him an artist, and he uses tools and rulers and compasses, and he doesn't use. Al, if
Pencils?
you're just listening now, Al Yankovic, Weird
Who's
Al.
tuning in right now? Who's tuning in right this second?
No, but I'm saying if they're listening and not watching it on YouTube,
Oh.
he has a needle that he's
Uh-huh.
dipping into ink, Al, and then he's jabbing it into the thigh of a man he met 10 minutes ago,
No less.
no less.
This is a long name too.
We'll send it with Al.
What?
Just Weird Al.
It's just
That's
Weird
all
Al.
you want?
That's all I need.
What have you been writing?
I'm Weird Al, but usually with the full autograph is a Weird Al Yankovic.
No,
This
go
is one of- one of a kind,
Yankovic.
One of a kind.
Yeah, Al Yankovic. Al Yankovic.
No.
Are you
Dad,
Al
you
Yankovic the
can't
first?
choose. You can't
Or
choose.
third?
My body,
except
my choice, Howie.
Okay. All right.
That's
Just
good.
Weird Al. Just Weird,
Weird
Al.
Al.
Man. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Maybe this is good practice for next time I'm in prison.
This is great. I love it. It's my new favorite tattoo.
Is it?
Is it?
What does it look like?
Wow.
Stand up and
Well,
face this
Let me clean
camera.
it off. Let me clean it
It's
off.
got that nice architectural
No,
lettering
we
too.
want to see it filthy right now. Oh, yeah, it
It's
looks
just a-
great. But that doesn't look,
Look at that. I
look
gotta-
at that.
Wow. Wow.
Are you limping?
It's gonna sit on my leg weird.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's fantastic.
That's a first for sure.
You're an artist. You're an
A
artist.
tattoo artist.
Yes.
See, he asked you what you want to do in the future, and you didn't even think it would be a tattoo artist.
See, I'm open to new experiences, and
Yeah.
that was one of them.
Yeah.
Wow. This guy, you met him. Where was this guy that has it on his back?
I think that was like four or 5 years ago. He just came to one of my shows, and we had a meet and greet afterwards. And he goes, "Can I show you my back?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Of course you can show me your back." And he showed me that.
That is amazing. It's not as amazing as Seth's because
No,
Seth's was
his is the
done
best.
by the artist.
Yes.
It's an original. That's just a numbered copy.
Yeah.
This is, oh, here he is. Let's see how it turned out.
It looks really good.
Really?
Really?
Everybody agreed in the back.
Yeah.
Everybody agreed in the back. It looks really good, you
Okay.
said? Okay,
Yeah.
stand on the couch. Stand on the couch.
Right here. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
it's good.
It's really good.
It is
Ow.
good.
You don't want like in a likeness? I could do like a drawing of myself.
Oh, now it went from I don't know if I want to do it.
So he's
to he
coming
won't
back
take the
next
gloves
week.
off. He's doing.
No,
he's turning into
that's
Picasso.
better than even the other ones
That's
on your leg.
that's better than all the other ones.
Yeah, this is all the other ones. So
Who else do you have?
got Alex back there. Shout
Just
out.
Alex.
We got Andrea back there. Shout out. We got Kyle back there. Shout out.
nobody that's known.
We got Jeremy back there. Shout out.
Just
We got
everybody that was
Jenny.
here today.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
came in with clean legs today. People have been drawing all over his thighs. I can't thank you enough, Al.
My pleasure.
What do we want to plug? Do we want to plug Australia? What are the dates for Australia?
You could go to weirdal.com. All the dates are
Go
there.
to weirdal.com. Buy the merch. See the movie. Listen to the music.
Have the full Al experience.
That's it. And if you really like it, find out where he is. Go there. Buy yourself a little tattoo pen. Do you
And I'll
want some of
tattoo
my
any part of your body you like.
Do you want some of our merch?
Sure.
We do. We have stuff. I know it's not. We don't do Hawaiian. What do you want? You want a T-shirt?
we
You want a
should
hoodie?
make a Hawaiian stuffed shirt.
What?
What?
What are you pointing
Oh,
at? Oh, it's on the floor. What do you want? You want?
Sorry.
We have black hoodies that say stuff. We have hats that say stuff. We
I
have
like
the
all sorts
T-shirt.
of stuff.
You want everything.
He wants everything.
What size are you?
Large or extra large, depending on how they run.
That's extra.
Here's extra large. You want?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Toss
take it
and
into the ground.
made it.
There
Got
we
it.
go.
Oh,
You got extra large stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah, if you want more stuff, you can go to howiemandel.com.
I will.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people at home. You went
get
to
your
Howie
stuff for
Mandel.
free.
You get your stuff directly from the source, just like he got his tattoo directly from the
I
source.
just got another tattoo, baby.
Hey.
Who are you talking to?
Al.
He's making a song reference.
Wow.
Song reference.
Oh, I get it. Okay, just got another tattoo, baby. All right, you've been great. I
No,
wish you
you.
nothing but success, continued health, and I'm looking forward to our promised
Collab.
Yes, indeed.
collab. And
Thank you,
that's it
Howie.
for us.
Thank you, Jack.
Get the gloves off for you.
That was so fun.
Thanks,
That was crazy. That was unbelievable.
Get the gloves off.
Oh, okay.
I'll get a better shot too once it's cleaned up.
That was great.